Hi folks. Today we look at front suspension, all that bushings, and stabilizer bar with its links. Here we have car safely lifted and supported. For this job it is really important, because some parts are accessible only from bottom, and I don't want to have car fallen on me. This car have control arm bushings in very bad shape. Front wheels can move back and front long way. This cause steering to have soft and slow response, and when braking, car wander from side to side. Look closer, how arm is loose and bushing. This can lead to dangerous situation at emergency braking, and cornering is also somewhat unpredictable. All that parts wear over time slowly. So it is good to check them occasionally as they make no noise, and slow changes in handling over time can stay unnoticed. Here I have magnetic bowl. It is useful tool to keep all bolts and other small parts. Now remove plastic bottom cover to get access to stabilizer bar, sometimes also called sway bar. Cover keep all mess dripping from engine inside and also dirt from road away from engine. It also help with airflow. Now we can see all coolers. First is here cooling loop for a power steering, then small black transmission cooler, then somewhat beaten AC condenser, and last engine radiator. Also we see something leaking. It is power steering pump. Steering is working, and fluid is not losing any fast. So it is no reason to replace this pump on car as old as this when it still works. Engine looks dry, it is good. But steering rack is also somewhat leaky. Now remove wheels. Putting removed wheels under car is also recommended for safety, when working in conditions like this. Brake pads looks new, and rotors in good shape. but this brake hose is in horrible shape and shall be replaced as soon as possible. Just remove wheel on other side and let's go to bushings. On this car is rear bushing held by metal bracket with 4 screws. Front side is held by 1 big bolt passing through bushing. Here's little trick to loosen very tight bolts and nuts. Just use jack like this to do hard work. This small impact wrench was too weak to loosen this bolt, but is useful to do rest. Then just little tap to push bolt out, and control arm is free. Big rear bushing is held on arm by big nut. It is also very tight, but now I use different way. Use jack as support and loosen it with long pipe. Here you can see old bushing. It is totally worn now. And here comes new one. Just put it on with nut. Then lift arm to right place with jack. This bushing need to be oriented right, it have notches to sit in. Once it is turned right, just put bracket back. And after tightening all, it will be done. Now put front bolt to its place. I wanted to also change front bushings, but ball joint is so rusted to place it must be cut to get whole arm from car and take it to press. And I have no tool to press a new bushing when arm is on car. So it must wait for now, and it was not so bad yet. Just tighten it up, and move to stabilizer and its links. On this side link makes loud clunking noises. Find right size socket and try to loosen it. No way, it is much rusted in place. So let it to later and remove bar itself. bar is held by 2 brackets with 2 bolts each. This is much faster way. Bar sits in this rubber bushings. They are also totally worn. As they are very cheap, I replace them when doing all this. Another try of loosening this link. But no luck. So it's time to saw. It is very useful tool on old cars, as there is often no other way. It can be little tricky to find right spot and angle to cut. There's bolt would start to turn when I try to cut it. So it must be held from other side. One end is done, now cut other end. Old link is finally out. One of its ball joint is completely loose. Here's new link and rubber bushings. Put link in place and use 2 wrenches to tighten it. put new bushings on bar and screw on clamps. Other side of link is not yet tightened, as you can see, will be tightened later. This part can be little tricky. And you also get nice grease and dirt makeup. At the end, camera battery get low. So here we end.